What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and season 3 of Invincible just finished. Let's review it.
Area of entertainment.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Before we get into season 3, let's recap season 1 and 2. So season 1 starts off.
Basically, we meet Mark Grayson, where basically he's just a normal teenager, and his father is a Viltrumite, which is his father's Omni-Man. And there's the Guardians of the Globe, all this stuff. Basically, the Guardians die for some reason, and basically, long story short, Mark gets powers. There's a whole thing going on. He's just trying to become a hero, trying to be like his dad. Then we get introduced to Cecil, which he's kind of like the government that kind of like helps superheroes and stuff. It's all this stuff. And then as time goes on, things happen that they make a new Guardians. And then that's when we find out that Omni-Man, his whole thing is that he's trying to take over the world and conquer it, because the whole story that he was telling was, basically he was evil, or basically he wanted to take over the world, and then he beat Mark, and then he left Earth, and then the whole thing starts to end up back in season 2. So that's kind of like a quick thing on season 1.
All right, now season 2 starts off right where season 1 left off. Omni-Man's left Earth, and pretty much Mark is dealing with what just happened. So he's not training, but he pretty much joins the Guardians. So he's joining the Guardians. He's helping them fight evil, training while, he's trying to figure out what's going on. And then in this series, a Viltrumite does come. I forgot her name.
Her name's Anissa.
Anissa comes, and she pretty much tells him, like, listen, we're going to send more people to come. So it's now your job because your dad failed the mission.
Yeah.
So now it's your duty to do all this. In the meantime, Mark goes and finds his dad, and he finds out that he has a brother.
Yeah.
Right. So he takes his brother back to Earth to be raised by his mom, and that's the end of season 2.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh no, there's like a whole like plot where it's like there's gonna be the Viltrumite War, where
because we got
with
Alan the alien,
with Alan and Omni-Man / Nolan, and they're kind of doing their own thing. And then Nolan has like an arc where he's becoming good, and then we got Angstrom Levy, which is the main villain of season 2. He basically can, his power is that he can go through different dimensions and stuff. So we see Mark towards the end of the show. He meets like Batman and Spider-Man and stuff, but of course, the Spider-Man that he meets isn't the Marvel Spider-Man because of copyright issues. But still, though,
he doesn't meet the real Batman either.
No, he does.
He does.
It does. It just doesn't show him because of the copyright thing. But still, he's like, wait, so your name is Bat and also Man? That's kind of like weird, because like it's kind of on the nose.
Right.
But basically, yeah, that's kind of like the end of season 2, where like we kind of like see like, oh, he kills Angstrom Levy, kills him, and then it goes to season 3.
Season 3. So season 3 picks up 3 months after the fight with the Viltrumite. What was her name? Anissa. So he fought Anissa. He got whooped. Like in every villain he fights, he gets whooped, and we pick up 3 months after. Now he's training.
Yeah.
Cecil's got a whole program for him.
So before we kind of get into that, this is spoilers. Like, so we're kind of gonna get into spoilers. If you haven't seen season 3 yet, this is kind of the start of it. So far,
right.
let's do our review on.
Yeah. So let's give our review,
Yeah.
and then we'll go into the spoiler section. My
Yeah.
fault. I'm sorry about that. So
he's just really excited.
Yeah, because it was a good season. I mean, the season was good. Oh, don't touch the mic. Then our editor gets mad. The season was pretty good. I mean, my personal number, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. For the simple fact is that the season was good, but it didn't really pick up until the last 2 episodes.
I mean,
because in the beginning it started off strong, but then it started to wean down, and we started getting stories and plot points where we really weren't being interested in the characters. Like we got the plot with Rexplode and the girl who shrinks and stuff like that.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Well, no spoilers, but there's different plot points where like they started losing the audience, and then like it picks up the last 2 episodes where we actually get the real action.
Yeah.
So I give it an 8 out of 10. I mean, it was a good season because it gave us a lot of information, and it's leading up to bigger seasons coming out.
I wanted to give it a 10 because I think it was a good season, but also like I kind of have to think to myself like, yeah, there were points where like it was kind of like lacking in a few areas.
You
so
give it a 10?
I was gonna give it a 10, but I'm gonna give it a 9. Just going down 1 point, because realistically, like I like the show, I like this season, and I think those last 2 episodes really like carry it so much that's like, yo, like it has to be up there in like the rating. Like, of
Like,
course,
it was a good,
yeah,
it was a good show.
of course, other people give it like a 10 and like all that stuff, but I think like
See,
realistically, it's more like a 9, because you know, just overall, it's great. Like the whole like season is great. The way how Mark is and like all the characters and how their stories are going, but especially those like last 2 episodes. Those last 2 episodes are like peak, like with like a lot of like the story and like how like it correlates with the comics and stuff.
Yeah, so that our AOE review, we average it out like always.
Yeah, so like
that'll give it an 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5.
So 8.5 on the AOE scale, which is a great, good, good series. But it's hard to do shows because a lot of people like IGN, they do each episode, they give it a review.
Yeah.
But I think we feel that you can't judge a season or a movie if you only watch part of it.
Yeah.
So the season is the whole entirety of what they wanted, the story they wanted to tell. That's like watching a movie 10 minutes in the movie and being like, all right, I got to give it a review. So giving the review after the whole season is finished is our way of thinking. And I think it's the best way to give an actual honest review in our opinion of the whole season as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, let's get into spoiler section. So we start off episode 1 with Mark 3 months into his training.
Yes, Cecil's just training him like crazy, like speed, strength, durability, all that stuff.
Fighting other bigger opponents, harder opponents.
Yeah, and then like of course in early trailers and like throughout, they say like, oh, his strength has increased 100 and something percent. Speed increases this much. So yeah, he's getting strong and stuff.
Stronger and more powerful.
And in the first episode, they basically find this like the heaviest thing in the earth, which is an iceberg. And Mark is able to lift it, and then Cecil, he's like, "Yo, no,
that's the heaviest thing."
No, I think his buddy, his name's Donald. He says like, Cecil, that's the heaviest thing that we were able to find on Earth, and Mark was able to lift it. So it's like that's crazy and stuff.
So then they make a machine,
and then that's when they make a machine where like he's able to like do like kind of like bench presses or like that stuff. And then we just keep going with the episode. We meet Multi Paul, which is Kate's brother, which he's also kind of a character.
And then also get introduced to the twins.
The twins, voiced by
the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, the twins are voiced by Cholo Marihuana, the same guy who played Miguel Diaz in Cobra Kai, which is kind of cool. And he voices both twins, which is cool. But their kind of storyline kind of like goes into like other episodes and stuff. But this whole episode is just showing like kind of like what's been happening in these 3 months and kind of setting the ground, like what's happening to Rex. Rex is also in the episode. He's kind of going through stuff. Yeah.
So Rex's storyline, he gets a relationship with
Shrinking Ray / Ray. That's her name. Ray.
So he gets a relationship with her, and he's also pushing Mark to date Eve.
Yeah.
So Eve and Mark have a relationship in this season, and they kind of build on that, and that kind of motivates Mark to kind of push himself to.
Which is something that's long overdue,
because it happened in like season 2.
Yeah, because like in the comic, or like in season 2 towards the end, we see like another version of Eve from another universe be like, hey, like, Mark, I love you. Just tell her that, all this and stuff. So it's kind of something like, it's something in the comics that's literally something that, is really important. So it's good that they're getting together.
So as the season goes on, we get different plot points from people. We jump back and forth between Mark's relationship with Eve throughout the season. And then we go to Rexplode. And then we also do his brother Oliver and how his story kind of builds up.
And even Cecil.
And Cecil, we learn a backstory about Cecil, how he got his scar and how he saved people and stuff like that, and how he became the director of
like that government industry. Yeah.
So as the story goes on, I mean, each episode was kind of in its own right. I don't think we should go through the whole every episode
kind of like piece. Yeah, kind of like key points. Like the first point that is like key is that basically Mark finds out that Cecil has been kind of taking bad people like villains from
reforming them.
And trying to reform them, because the way how Cecil thinks is that if someone's evil and stuff, they could be remade into something good. Right. So you got the apprentice of Darkwing, which in season 2 he was killing people and stuff in Dark City, and then Mark was like, hey, no, you're bad, you have to go to jail. Same thing went for I think Sinclair
was the evil scientist,
which is from season 1, where he made those robots that were in the college and stuff. So he did torture people and stuff. So that's when Mark's like, why the hell are you doing this, blah, blah, blah. So then Mark is like, hey, I'm done. No, actually, no, he doesn't say he's done yet. Basically, he finds out that Cecil put a chip in his head that basically Cecil found out like a weakness where it's like the
sonic
like which
shock
is the sonic shock. Yeah. So then from that, Mark is like, hey, I'm done. You know, like I'm done working for you. You know, like don't ever like, you know, do this, blah blah. And then that's when they break off, and Cecil and him, and then even the Guardians of the Globe.
They split off.
Split off too. So you have Rex, Shrinking Ray. You got even Robot / Rudy, and then you got Monster Girl. Basically, they all split off and they go back to Team while Immortal, Kate, and
Stretch, and Samson.
Yeah, Samson.
Black Samson.
Oh, and also for a team, it's Bulletproof.
Yeah, I got the yellow outfit.
But yeah, so they split up because they're like, oh, like Invincible is right. Like Cecil is gonna control us and do the same thing.
And they were pretty much kind of, so two of the guys who left actually died. Shrinking Ray and Rex. Rex got shot in the head. Shrinking Ray died.
Yeah.
And then he brought him back. So it's like they started realizing that Cecil really doesn't care about us. We're just a weapon to him.
Yeah. And then that's when you know, Oliver and Mark get new suits. Mark gets his classic, or not, but he gets a new suit, his blue and black suit, which is awesome.
His
and
dark
then
Venom suit, pretty much.
Yeah, like so. The creator of Invincible, he basically explained that Mark's blue and black suit is basically just Spider-Man's symbiote suit. So basically, just says that Mark is going on a darker path now. And then you got Oliver, he becomes Kid Omni-Man with his red and black Omni-Man suit inspired, which is kind of cool because, you know, it shows that he actually loves his father and stuff. But then
he only knows the good side of him.
The good side of, you know, Nolan. But then Mark is like, hey, like, realistically, like, people won't like, you know, on Earth because Dad did bad things. But then we kind of do a whole jump where Mark is trying to teach Oliver, like, hey, like, you have to do good things and stuff. But Oliver acts like kind of kills the Mauler twins. During like kind of like an experiment going on, and then
no, because the Mauler twins try to nuke the
world.
They
try to nuke the world.
So Oliver sees Mark actually getting his ass beat like always, and pretty much he's like, oh, I gotta go help my brother. So he shoots over there and he's helping him. He's fighting him back, you know. And then they launch the missile. Mark's handling the nuke while Oliver's handling both the twins, and he kind of pretty much let loose.
He basically just kills them, and then that's when it's a whole thing where Cecil's like, Mark, like, you know, blah blah, I told you, like, you know, you have to keep him on like hold. And then that's when Oliver and Mark have a serious talk where, you know, he's like, yo, you can't do that. And then that's when, like, and this moment kind of like made me like, whoa, like that's crazy, because like you got Oliver, he's saying like, did you ever think that Dad was actually right?
Yeah, because
and like it just showed like, yo, Oliver's kind of becoming like his dad. But then of course, and I think this is like the coolest thing is that the family dynamic between the mother, Mark, and like, you know, Oliver is really cool, because like it's like it just shows like an actual family where his mother's like, hey, we can't do this, blah blah.
He's trying to teach him morality.
So they just have like a whole thing, and then
so they teach him. So this whole season, Oliver gets his powers earlier than Mark did. Mark actually grew up as a kid. So he was able to kind of live a normal life until he got his powers. But Oliver gets them at a young age because of his, I'm guessing, his alien background.
His genetics, where he's able to age quickly.
So he gets his powers when he's still young and a kid. So they're trying to figure out how to teach this kid, you know, to be responsible with his powers, but also letting him be a kid.
Yeah.
So there's another storyline where he's like sneaking away and having friends and stuff like that. And they're trying to pretty much raise him, but they don't know how to raise somebody who has powers at such a young age.
And then you know, and then we just get more stuff with Mark and Eve. Their relationship is building. More stuff of Rex and like the team. Also like the mom Debbie, she kind of gets a new boyfriend and stuff, and like all that stuff. But then we kind of do a thing where we go back to the twins that stole the Declaration of Independence, so where we find out that they're time travelers from the future, and they're like, hey, Mark, we need your help because you're the strongest person that like we know. So then Mark goes into the future, and basically it's like an apocalypse, and they're saying like, oh, there's this king that basically killed everybody and all this. And so Mark thinks it's like a Viltrumite, and I actually thought that it was like,
I thought it was Mark.
I thought it was like Mark too, where like it's like another version of it, or like Omni-Man, Nolan or something. But then we find out that it's Immortal, and then Immortal is basically saying like, Mark, why did you leave me all these years to like, you knew I couldn't do this. So then we kind of see some story like in the future where it's like, oh shoot, like Mark left Earth.
right,
to
for
go
some
do
reason,
something.
yeah.
And then
And he left Immortal
and he
in
left
charge.
Immortal because he thought Immortal can do it, but Immortal just went crazy. And then this whole thing is just like Immortal wants to die.
Yeah, so
and then
he started torturing people and oppressing the population on
Yeah.
Earth. So to kind of invite Mark back to kill him. Pretty
Yeah.
much. So short story and long story short,
he rips
Mark
his head
kills
off.
him. He
Yeah,
rips
he
his
rips his
head
head off.
Boom. This episode's done. I think we should just forward straight to the last 2 episodes.
So the last 2 episodes is the biggest thing ever. First of all, these 2 moments are like the biggest moments in
episode
in
7
the comics.
is episode 7
is the Invincible War. So Angstrom Levy, fun fact, is not dead, but he's alive. And basically, in another dimension, he had surgeons that fixed him up, and he went to other dimensions and found evil versions of Mark. And this is like the coolest. You got Sinister Mark, you got Mohawk Mark, you got Viltrumite Mark, you got Mustache Mark, you got all versions of Mark. And basically, it's the Invincible War. He sends these Invincibles to Mark's world, and basically, we're in the Invincible War. We have all versions, like almost like we got most versions of Mark, and they're just terrorizing London, Paris, New York, and you got like all of them. And we basically there's a war going on. So Cecil's like, yo, get every superhero and let them fight. So, and also it's kind of cool because we see a lot of cameos from Image Comics, which is the comic company that owns Invincible. So we see like Savage Dragon and like a whole bunch of other characters, which is pretty cool. But yeah, they're just trying to fight all these versions of Mark, and this whole episode is just like we're just trying to fight these Marks and what's going on and stuff.
Well, hold on, stop right there. There's one. So Darkwing takes a Mark into the dark dimension, but he never comes back.
Oh, so
is that like a spoiler for season 4? He shows up again.
Well, it's kind of spoilers, but in the comics, what it is that he takes him to the dark dimension, and Savage Dragon sacrifices himself. So Darkwing. That's my bad. Wow. Darkwing dies by taking Mark there. So then Darkwing dies, which basically kind of kills that version of Mark in a way that he can't get out. But also there's like a tease where it's like, oh, maybe he can get out. But yeah, that's just kind of like shows like that version of Mark. Right. But all these Marks are effing everything up, killing everything.
Yeah, they're just destroying Earth. And they're causing havoc because Angstrom is pretty much telling them like, listen. He's kind of controlling them, but they ended up turning against him at the end, and then he sends them into the other dimension.
Yeah, like the desert.
Desert dimension. Well, yeah, where they're kind of stuck actually. I think they're stuck there.
So yeah, it's just like Angstrom is just saying like, hey, if you help me, I'll help you conquer other dimensions, and yeah, like just help me out. But yeah, they're just effing everything up, and then by the end of it, they're basically saying like, oh, like like each Mark is like basically like kind of sad, where it's like, oh, like they were doing this for different reasons and stuff. So but Angstrom is not holding his end of the bargain. So then Angstrom's like, oh, I knew you guys were gonna betray me, and then he sends them to like that desert place where him and Mark fought in season 2, and then that's when Sinister Mark is like, oh, Angstrom, I'm gonna kill you and stuff, and that teases, of course, maybe something in the future where they actually are gonna kill him.
Yeah,
and then
because Mark tries to kill him this season. And he's about to kill him, but he hesitates like always.
Yeah.
And
well, not always. His brother Oliver.
Yeah, his brother Oliver was like, kill him so he doesn't do this again. And then that's kind of when it kind of dawns on Invincible, saying like, listen, like some people have to die. And that's kind of like his change in psyche, where in the beginning seasons he was more like, killing's bad, there should never be killing. Then season 2 comes and he's like, killing is okay if it's protecting people. Yeah. But then now it's like killing's okay to protect people, but it's also like he's kind of cracking in his morals.
Yeah. So and
because
then
he thought he killed Angstrom,
and like and that traumatized him because he's like, he never kills, but then he's realizing, oh, if he would have killed, if I would have killed him, this would have never happened. So it was like, dang, like it would have been good. And then Angstrom kind of escapes, but he loses an arm in the process. Right. Angstrom is like, oh, fix me up to these surgeons. But then the doctor's like, no, you're listening to us now. And that's why Angstrom doesn't come back and does all that extra stuff.
He's pretty much working for the doctors.
Yeah. Now. And then we get into the last episode where...
So episode 8 was the last episode where we're pretty much picking up the world. After all the Marks after all the Marks leave. Yeah. And pretty much Invincible's helping people, and then Conquest shows up, right when Mark is helping, the
Yeah.
survivors and stuff.
Oh, and also another like small thing is that during the Invincible War, Eve gets badly injured, so she's like in the hospital. I'm bringing it up because it's an important thing later on. But
it's not really important. She shows up.
A main reason why Invincible wins that fight,
because
basically Conquest comes. He's like, you better get ready for my
her
arrival.
Getting hurt didn't really matter.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Because she would have showed up anyways.
True,
she
but
wasn't hurt.
Still though.
So
basically,
Long Story Short, episode 8 is all about Conquest coming, and he was foretold by the other Viltrumite girl, and she said like, there's gonna be another one coming.
Yeah.
And they send the baddest guy that they got, who's like
basically
they're all scared of him.
Mark had to get ready for the arrival.
The arrival. Yeah.
But
so they send Conquest, who's the baddest of all the Viltrumites, and
he's the oldest and one of the strongest Viltrumites. So basically we're fucked.
Yeah. So this whole time Mark is getting his ass whooped.
Yeah.
Mark's getting his ass whooped. Oliver jumps in
and also just saying,
slapped around.
While this stuff's happening, Conquest is like holding back, and that's what he's like. He's basically just saying like, "Hey, like this is just fun. I'm just having fun," which is like
because he never gets a chance to let loose.
Yeah, like it's just like. So
he's just slapping them both around, both Oliver and.
He really does he smacks him to the ground.
I thought it was crazy like when he smacked Oliver and or he punched Oliver and like all his teeth fell.
Yeah, that was crazy. And he was gonna rip him in half.
Yeah, he was gonna pull him in half, and then Mark is getting his ass whooped. Eve shows up, after being injured in the last episode,
and then helps him out.
She's actually doing pretty good, but then Conquest lets loose and pretty much
he basically
punched the shit out of her, break her jaw.
Yeah, and then like it's like she dies
temporarily. Yeah,
and then
then Mark let loose.
But it's just so cool because like here's the thing: you can say anything. Mark is like kind of getting his book, but like towards the end, my guy hits him, punches him, breaks
both their arms,
breaks Conquest's robot arm, but then breaks his arm. And then he's fighting Conquest versus his other arm, but he's hitting him with his head. That's just showing like he's dedicated. Like he's just doing that. And then Eve kind of gets resurrected because
they kind of like have some plot armor with her.
No, not plot armor. It's just like her true power comes out because it's like
a limiter.
It's saying like she has a limit to like her power, but when she like is close to death and all that limit doesn't matter. So then she like does like she can reform her body. She does like a unibeam on freaking Conquest, which
she gets revived, so she pretty much gets respawned in, and from lobby, and then she one shots fucking.
She doesn't one shot, but she unibeams him, which you can see his muscle and all that, and then
which reminded me of the episode with Sinclair, not Sinclair,
Cecil.
Cecil, yeah, the episode with Cecil where his face started melting with the gas.
That's also another like point in this episode. We kind of see more of like what Cecil went through and kind of like why he became the government. And
so Conquest gets uniblasted, but it doesn't kill him.
Yeah, he's still up, but then Invincible kind of finishes him and headbutts him like I don't know, like 20 times until his head is mush. So then it just shows like, damn, like Invincible kind of. He beat him.
Yeah, but he needed assist.
He needed a little help, but he kind of beat him.
He got assist from the OP's character.
But he still won the fight.
Like, he won the fight, but like he didn't win it alone. You know? So it's like he's not gonna go 1v1 against the next strongest guy.
Well, yeah.
So whoever that
but
is.
And then like we kind of come together now, and then like we kind of find out, or they find out that back in the Invincible War, somebody died.
Who died?
Somebody died.
Oh my boy!
Somebody.
So during the Invincible War,
he doesn't know because he doesn't know because he doesn't accept it yet.
The best character in the whole show dies. R.I.P. Rexplode, the best character in the whole series. He didn't die. He sacrificed himself to save his friends, which is out of his character because he was always a selfish guy.
Yeah.
So him doing that was like a big character development that he started. He started thinking of others.
Yeah.
So he dies, and who else dies?
Immortal died, but he's immortal. So right. He came back. So
they put him back together anyways.
Yeah.
At the end of the episode.
Basically, just like
he was the big death.
Rex was the biggest death, but everyone was still effed up. But they were still able to heal. But yeah, like Rex, he died. And his death where he just exploded his whole skeleton, I think was like the coolest moment. Yeah. And of course, Shrinking Ray, she was devastated. Yeah. And then also another kind of small detail, but Rudy /Robot changes his name to
honor Rex.
So he changes it to Rex, which I think is cool because that also happens like in comics and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's the little detail.
So at the end of episode 8, they're picking up everything.
Yeah. They're just trying to come together again because after all this stuff that's been happening.
Right. So it was back to back, literally like a day. They had the Invincible War, and then the next day is Conquest just fucking shit up. So at the end of this episode, they started doing cuts to different characters. So they went to Battle Beast.
Yeah,
who had an episode in this series where he was let loose and actually destroyed. He soloed a Viltrumite.
Yeah, which when Nolan and Alan were escaping, they also released Battle Beast and he was floating in space, but then aliens found him and he woke up. So then it shows like, oh shoot, like he's about to be in season 4. Yeah. And then we see everyone just coming together. We got they're basically cleaning up everything. We got we kind of get a tease also to like those like brain little like symbiotic creatures, but of course
they came like in episode season 1.
Well, season 1 and season 2, but like again it's just like it's just another big threat that they're trying to plan out. Also they're kind of like doing the Invincible War. I mean the Viltrumite War.
Viltrumite War is coming.
Where it's coming, and then also.
But we also get pretty big information from
Invincible.
From Omni-Man. He said that there's only 50.
Oh yeah, so
there's only 50 pure-blooded Viltrumites left. So
he's like, oh, we got a chance.
We got a chance because they killed 3 this season alone. They killed the 2 that was torturing him to death, and then they killed Conquest.
Yeah,
so
and then
we're down 3. So we got a little bit to go.
But yeah, we just get teases to like the next season, and then we get a big moment from Mark where he says, "Oh, I'm gonna stop holding back, and I'm just gonna kill whoever hurts me or my family."
Right. So he's pretty much telling everybody like he's gonna start killing.
Yeah,
people.
he's basically just gonna start killing, and then towards the end of the season, like Ray brought up, the detective
Dark Blood.
So Dark. Damon Darkblood, which is the demon from season 1 that got banished, we get a tease from him where he's summoning he summons his master, and he's like, oh, we're about to get ready for a fight, and I'm gonna bring him down here to hell and stuff, and so it's like a big thing, which a lot of people probably know this, a lot of people don't, but this moment does not happen in the comics, not one bit.
So this is show exclusive.
So this is just like something brand new that they're gonna bring, which I think.
So I think he's gonna bring Mark.
I think it's gonna be a cool moment.
But hold on, he might. Mark banished him. Was it Mark that banished
No, I think it was Omni-Man. So like, it can go both ways because maybe he's like, oh. Maybe I could he said that the strongest being on the planet I want to bring down here. So Omni-Man is not there. Nolan's not there.
He doesn't know Omni-Man's not there. He's banished.
True.
He don't get information.
But we never know. We gotta wait till season 4.
So season 4, I don't know if they announced it yet, but it should be coming out. But the way these shows, these cartoons, they've been taking forever to come out. They don't come out every year.
No, they're saying yearly they're gonna come out.
Word. Yeah, because so I think 1 to 2 took a while, or 1 to 3 took a while, or 2 to 3.
Yeah, it's like so season 1 took a long time because of season 1. Season 2 kind of took a long time, but after when season 2 came out, they said, oh, they're gonna produce them yearly.
Yeah.
So then when season 3 came out, around the same time, like maybe January, February, that's when the next season is gonna come out, which I think that's dope because like the way how they're doing it, they're kind of trying to keep up with like Marvel and like DC shows where it's like, oh, like those Marvel DC shows kind of like always like trying to pump out different shows and episodes, so they're kind of trying to keep on track and stuff. But like I think
season 3 was great.
Season 3 was good. I can't wait for season 4.
And
one thing
so did the comic books end already?
Yeah.
So you can read up on the story if you want.
If you want like the spoilers, you want to get
ahead, but because I know you said that this season had a lot of Easter eggs for future stuff that's coming.
Yeah.
So if you wanted that kind of stuff, we don't want to say anything here because we don't want to spoil it too far. We're down to spoil the season because it's out.
Yeah.
But we don't want to spoil any future things because it's kind of messed up.
But like if you would kind of predict, what do you think could happen?
Well, the war is definitely coming. I think that Oliver's probably gonna grow up. Like season 4, he's gonna be at least a teenager, like teenager size.
He's probably gonna be the same age as Mark.
As Mark. So next season we're gonna see Oliver growing up. He's gonna get a new suit, and I think that we're gonna pick up where we left off, and he's training Oliver how to use the powers and stuff like that. But Mark's still learning too, so he really doesn't know that. But we did leave season 3 where Alan the alien and Omni-Man are coming back to Earth.
Yeah.
So season 4 they definitely got to make an appearance.
Like I said,
and then kind of prepare Earth for what's coming.
Like I said, like season 3 just like kind of like was trying to build up, like kind of give a lot of teases. Like even in the like season 2.
Yeah, they were
building up a lot of stuff like far beyond season 3, where you got Space Racer.
The only issue I have with this series is that his name's Invincible, but everybody he fights, he gets whooped, and then he like at the end he gets help. Like there's not one person where he won. Well,
it's like you said, like he's still learning.
But yeah, but it's like, I mean, I hope in the future seasons they kind of say like, okay, he's overpowered now. Yeah. Like he's more of a developed superhero.
I mean, like you could say the
because
same.
This, like, I mean, the way his power level is like uneven. Like he was getting beat by some bugs in the first episode.
But you could say the same thing with like other Viltrumites. Like you can see Omni-Man in the first episode of this whole thing. He's kind of like supposed to be the strongest Viltrumite, or like one of the strongest, and he still got like really badly beaten by like Immortal.
He didn't get beat by Immortal?
No, you're like in the beginning where he killed all the Guardians.
Oh, I mean, he got punched once.
He got messed up. He got messed up.
But that's after he fought everybody else. I'm talking about Mark goes into a fight 1v1 in somebody and they always beat him up.
He's still
and it be the weakest fucking guys.
But he's still learning.
Like it shit piss me off.
He's still learning.
That he's fucking invincible, but he gets his eyes whooped.
But he's still learning. That's it. That's all I can say, because he's just still learning. Like it's kind of just like if you just think about like other heroes, like Batman wasn't the greatest detective on day 1 or even year 1. He wasn't like the greatest, but he was still good. Same thing with Spider-Man. He wasn't the greatest superhero, but he was still up there.
So this season takes place a year after being a superhero, since season 1.
Yeah, like because
so because
Mark got his powers when he was like 17, and now I think 2 years.
Level. 2 years, right? He's
because he's 19 in season 3. So yeah, it's been 2 years.
So he's 2 years as a superhero. You would think that he'd be more developed.
Yeah, true.
And it's like I haven't read the comics or nothing like that, but I hope that he gets a lot better with his powers, and he can at least be strong enough to fight Conquest alone if they revive him. Because at the end of season 8. They keep him alive.
So yeah, like Cecil
puts him.
I can't believe we forgot about this. Yeah. So Cecil like brings him into like kind of an underground like prison where he said like, oh, we got like
we're gonna question him when he wakes up.
Yeah, and find out about this like his like the Viltrumites and like what's going on.
Anything, yeah.
And then they got him in like a 600-ton titanium steel block with like explosives. They're saying like, oh, if he even moves an inch, he blows up. But, whoever read the comics, they know exactly what's going to happen.
He's going to get revived and escape. You can't kill off the strongest guy in season 3. Come on. Because season 3 is what? In comic book form, what is that? Like in the middle of the story?
Like, I think like 25%.
So we're a quarter into the books and we're on season 3. That means that if they're going at this pace, we got 9 seasons.
Yeah.
Right?
Because just say there's a lot more stuff.
I say they can go to 10 seasons.
There's a lot more stuff that's gonna happen
because they probably can drag it out for 10 seasons because it is a popular show. Everybody loves the show and it's gaining traction. That's why they're doing it yearly now.
Yeah.
So we're probably gonna get 10 seasons. So yeah, season 4. Looking forward to it.
Season 4, and also we gotta watch out for Thrag. I think Thrag's gonna be in season 4.
I don't know who that is, but we're gonna have to find out.
It just shows like, oh, like you got someone who like knows and then someone who doesn't know. Just to say, I wish I didn't know because I like.
Now you spoiled
yourself.
Yourself.
Yeah, I spoiled myself, but still though. Yeah. Anyways, besides the point.
That's besides the point. But my name is Ray. This is Dario.
And
thank you for tuning in to AOE.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys later.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.